Hello there. Happy Tuesday. It's live Q&A. I'll be with you for the next undetermined amount of time, but probably quite a long time. To talk, we're going to talk twin flames. Usually that's what we talk about. Law of attraction, right? I love to talk about law of attraction. I just talked law of attraction for about 2 hours. A good solid 2 hours with my law of attraction coaching students. So that's another thing that we're doing. And man, it was a great call, you guys, that we had today. It's so easy to create a life worth living for, a life that you don't have to escape from, right? Because that's the thing that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work at a job 40 hours a week, save up for retirement, and then every year you get to take a vacation for a week to get away from it all. Well, I don't want to get away from it all. I want a life that I don't have to escape from. And when I take a vacation, I'm just having a good time. That's the kind of life I like to live. And I have to say, if you're doing this awakening properly, if you really met a twin flame, that's exactly what you ought to be doing and what you can do easily. You can easily be doing that, right? Because the thing is, you meet this person who is another incarnation of your soul, right? It's the same soul, reincarnation. You're one soul. They trigger that ego breakdown. Oh, baby, is that painful. That shit sucked, but so worth it, because if you are making this about your ascension into consciousness, instead of making it about the person, that consciousness can provide for you the life of your dreams. Consciousness is the causative force in manifesting. Most people, when they find out about the law of attraction, they go, oh, I have to use my mind to create my reality. Well, that part is true too, yes. But how it really works is you are using your consciousness first to recondition the mind. So the consciousness is here and the mind is here, and you're like reprogramming your mind, right? On purpose. And when you do that, you attract the things to you that you are being. And your consciousness also is causative because it sends ripples out into the universe. And there's even scientists talking about that now that I could show you guys. Well, let's do some questions here since we're doing this live Q&A. I got super chats turned on. If you would like to get my attention, that's a great way to do it. I don't have a regular corporate job. This is it. This is how I make a living. New World All-Star. Also, we have 3 employees. And they all have kids. One of them is a rescue person. They're like an animal rescuer. And so that's where that's like their version of having kids, right? And she's got a big heart, man. I got some good people working at this organization. Full-time customer service department. Expanding into Spanish now. And yo hablo español. Hablamos español. We will talk to you in Spanish. Also, my coaching program is in Spanish. I get the bills paid through student signups and super chats. That's how I'm able to do this. If I wasn't making money doing this, I would have to go work at a job And if I was working at a job, I wouldn't be able to do this. So it's kind of a win-win. Well, here's a good question that I like. Man, there's a lot of good questions here. We'll start with this one. From Shagun, what are the signs that divine masculine twin flame is also awakening? I love this question because you guys know how I love to bust the myths. Well, let me show you something here. Put something on the screen for you. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to do that one. What are you doing? Come on, StreamYard. There we go. Wait. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 1 second. I'm having technical difficulties. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So the question is, what are the signs that divine masculine is also going through an awakening? So first, let's define terms. What is a spiritual awakening? Does anybody get to decide what a spiritual awakening is? Well, no, nobody gets to decide what a spiritual awakening is for the same reason that you don't get to decide what color the sky is or what shape the earth is or which direction the sun rises, right? The sun rises in the east. And if you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, dude. If it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I go outside and look east, there's the sun, right? So people for thousands of years have described what a spiritual awakening looks like. And those people in particular would be some of these people. I mean, these people didn't live thousands of years ago, but you got, the Buddha and people like that. Also, Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, and as always, I'm going to use trusted resources, not random, people on the internet. Nice enough people and everything, but not just some random person on YouTube going, oh, I think it's this. Right. Well, I think the sun rises in the north. Yeah. Right. Well, I don't care what you think. I want to know what the truth is. So the way that I'm going to describe a spiritual awakening is going to match what the masters are going to tell you they experienced, and all the other people who have this experience, it's going to be the same. Well, now guess what? It's 2026. You've got peer-reviewed scientific literature now from prestigious universities and institutions. Also, by the way, I can show this to you. Whoops. I did it again. Like Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Okay. There it is. All right. In Spanish, if you're watching me in Spanish right now, there's a link in the video description to this article in Spanish. If you're watching me in English, there's a link to the English version. This is peer-reviewed third-party scientific literature from psychologists, paranormal researchers, college professors. Look at this. The Center for Mental Health, School of Human Sciences, University of Greenwich, London. The Center for Psychedelic Research, Department of Brain Sciences, Faculty of Medicine, Imperial College of London. Reviewed by Everton Maraldi, edited by Everton Maraldi at the Pontifical Catholic University of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Peer-reviewed by Lance Storm, University of Adelaide, Joseph Glickson, Bar-Ilan University, right? Spontaneous spiritual awakenings are subjective experiences characterized by a sudden sense of direct contact, union. What? Union? What is that word doing there? Why are they using the word? Oh, they're talking about twin flames. You bet. Nope. So in this paper, when they describe an awakening as subjective, the way that they are using that word is to say, well, it's somebody describing an experience. So it's kind of like psychology, where they call that a soft science, psychology. Paranormal research, it's a soft science. Chemistry is a hard science, right? But when you're dealing with living, conscious humans, you call it a soft science. It can be subjective, but what we describe, the mass of these subjects, the people, what we describe is always the same. And if we see the same pattern every time, then that's objective. So that's why the word subjective is in here. So that's kind of a, like, if you read enough of these types of scientific papers, you kind of learn the lingo, what they mean when they say subjective, hard science, soft science, qualitative data, quantitative data, all those things. And that's relevant. So I'll come back to that. But yeah, they're using the word union. Okay. Or a complete non-dual merging, experience of oneness with a perceived ultimate reality, the universe, God, or the divine. And then they also talk about Kundalini in here. And if you read this paper, they also start talking about clairsentience, the ability to know future events, and then those events come true. Very important. So it's not just some bullshit that somebody made up. And again, these are coming from subjects, so there's going to be some degree of softness, right? Subjectivity. It's somebody describing their internal experience. But when you have upwards of 85% of this group of participants all reporting the same thing, that's something, right? That's qualitative data. And you don't want to ignore that. And this is the same kind of scientific principle that a psychologist kind of knows about. I'm not a psychologist, but this is kind of how you look at the data. Now, that 85%, they're all going to be describing the same bullet points, right? Which is the part that is objective. So, for example, out of all of those 85% people, they all have some, most, or all of the following experiences: Kundalini, psychic intuition, which comes true, psychic dreams, which come true, an increase of deja vu, out of body experiences, heart chakra opening, a sense of oneness, union, which is the real meaning of that word. It's not a twin flame word. An increase of ear ringing, satori. And it begins with the dark night of the soul, right? The part where you're suffering a whole bunch, right? And again, this is what the great spiritual masters are going to tell you. We all went through this. We have students who went through this. They all describe the same kinds of experiences. So you have this data set of all these different things that a person could experience, right? Kundalini, psychic intuition, psychic dreams, an increase of deja vu, out-of-body experiences, heart chakra opening, a sense of oneness. Also, massive amounts of repeating number patterns, strange synchronistic events also that seem to be coordinated by a higher intelligence, a desire to commune with God and nature, positive changes to your life situation. And again, out of all the bullet points that I just listed off, 85% of the test subjects are experiencing most of those things. You don't have to get all of them. You just have to get most of them, right? And that's what this scientific paper is explaining. Again, link in the description. Now, to your question, where did they go? Oh, to your question, what are the signs that divine masculine is also going through an awakening? Well, the answer is that your divine masculine will never go through a spontaneous spiritual awakening. And again, I started this answer by defining what a spontaneous spiritual awakening is, also pointing out you don't get to decide what that is. I don't get to decide what that is. Nobody gets to decide if the sun rises in the east or the north. The way it works is you look and see how it does work. This is the definition of a spiritual awakening. It's not my definition, it's the definition. And this is agreed upon now by scientists. There are now scientists receiving lots of money. These universities are getting grants and funding to do this research because the people giving them the money are looking at it going, wait, these people are onto something. They can prove what they're saying, right? Now, there's a lot of noise on the internet about what constitutes a spiritual awakening, and I realize that. And that's why I'm here to kind of clear that all up, dispel the myths. People are going to still tell me I'm wrong, but there's people that think the earth is flat too. Doesn't matter how much evidence you show them. It doesn't matter how clearly you explain it to them. They're invested in an identity. They think spiritualism is a personality type. And when somebody like me gets up here and gives them an empirical truth, well, to somebody who is invested in spiritualism as an identity, it hurts their feelings. And to the language of emotionalism, empiricism sounds like hate or anger. And so they accuse me of being mean and a narcissist and all this kind of stuff. And that doesn't happen a lot, but they sure do have a big mouth, and the internet helps them to have a big mouth, right? Because I get up here and I bust this myth every single time. Your divine masculine twin flame will not have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. Just because somebody suffers, and so you'll see somebody at this point in the conversation, they'll say, well, Kurt, my twin flame went through all this suffering. It was really hard. They had a dark night of the soul. It was really painful for them. Well, we have to talk about what the definition of dark night of the soul is. Dark night of the soul is only dark night of the soul if it is followed by a spontaneous spiritual awakening. Kundalini, psychic intuition, psychic dreams, an increase of deja vu, out-of-body experiences, heart chakra opening, a sense of oneness, ear ringing, satori, all kinds of weird paranormal stuff happening outside too, positive life changes, right? And again, I'm not making that up either. You can read this article. Well, it's not an article. It's a peer-reviewed scientific paper. I'm not making that up. What constitutes an awakening? So if all that ever happened was suffering and none of this stuff ever happens, then it was just suffering. It was not, by definition, dark night of the soul. The other phrase or term that can be used in place of dark night of the soul has been ego death. That's usually what people in the Zen traditions call it, ego death, but it's the same thing, dark night of the soul, ego death. And you only have one. You only have one. I've had people, Kurt, I'm having another dark night of the soul. Okay, well, when this gets better, let me know if you start having Kundalini and become even more psychic than you were the first time. Right? It's only dark night of the soul if a spontaneous awakening happens after it. Your divine masculine might be going through a tough time in life, having a midlife crisis, whatever, and that sucks, but it's not a spiritual awakening. And it is only random people on Facebook in twin flame chat rooms debating and arguing with each other who are going to tell you that a spiritual awakening can be anything that you decide it is. And if somebody like me comes along and says, wait a minute, there is a definition, very well understood, defined, even accepted by people that are not really spiritual, but rather psychologists and college professors who are just scientifically interested in something that spiritual people are experiencing. They understand what the definition of a spiritual awakening is. So it's not being debated by anybody but random people in twin flame chat rooms. And again, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just trying to tell the truth and get things straightened out. But when I say these things, it's because to the language of emotionalism, empiricism sounds like hate. And here's another reason people think that your divine masculine twin flame is going to awaken, because they have all of these myths about how this works. Like, how is it that my twin flame and I are going to be together? Let me show you something. Let me put this on the screen. Here it is. Okay. Here we go. These are the twin flame stages. I don't know whose this is, but whoever it was, thank you, that made this, because we can use this as a good teaching tool to demonstrate how this does not work. It's the twin flame stages. Stage 1, recognition. Stage 2, triggering. Stage 3, the test. Stage 4, separation. Stage 5, healing and mission focus. Stage 6, the runner now awakens. Right? Right. The divine masculine awakens. The runner awakens. Guys, all of the things that you see on your screen here, these so-called stages, nobody has ever completed all of these things and then ended up with their twin flame. There are people who are trying to do the things on this list of stages, but they're not going to end up with their twin flame, or they are not a twin flame. And again, I'm not saying this to be mean. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I got to say that every time, because when you bust myths, it hurts feelings. And the reason it hurts feelings is because these people have made an identity out of spiritualism, which is the exact opposite of actual spiritualism. And that's not my opinion either. You can ask the masters, the Buddha, Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, the big names in spiritualism. They're going to tell you, yeah, spiritualism is not a personality type. Emotions are not spiritual. They're not bad, but they're not spiritual. There is not one person, not even one, who, number one, is a twin flame, and number two, completed all of these steps on your screen and then ended up with their twin flame. And one of the steps is, oh, the divine masculine awakens. He's going to awaken, right? That's why Shagun, who I think you are straight now. It looks like you're going, yep, right. Okay, got it, right. That's why you were asking that question. And I'm really glad that you did, because this is a myth that keeps you stuck and it keeps your twin flame running from you, actually, right? You saw this on the internet somewhere, people talking about this. You guys, I've been doing this for 8 years. 8 years, you guys. I've coached over 8,000 people in my twin flame coaching programs. Look at this. Look at all the people that I've helped to be together with their twin flame permanently. Thousands, you guys. And many of them have they were willing to give up their privacy and make an appearance on YouTube. And they're getting married to their twin flames. Look at that. Gretel, she's married. Ruxar, she's married. Baya, she's married. Where's the Spanish one? I got it. Spanish too. Just go to my YouTube channel, whichever one you're watching, English, Spanish. You can go watch these interviews if you want. They're going to tell you how it really works. And yes, they all went through a spontaneous spiritual awakening. Every single one of the people who I interviewed for these videos that you're seeing on your screen, before we started the interview, I spent a few minutes with them and I gave them a quick twin flame test to find out if for sure they were having a spontaneous spiritual awakening. And they were. Also, If you scroll down, there's all these other videos where it's just me going around my YouTube channel or Facebook or Instagram showing off written testimonials that people leave everywhere. They're every place, guys. And I'm honored. I think it's awesome that finally somebody figured this out. And what am I doing? How did I do it? What do I teach people? Use the master's teachings, not the new age healing hype and the stages and stuff like that. The stages are waiting for your divine masculine to awaken. It just makes them run harder, guys, because the mind is in control when you're doing that. The mind is what expects this to go a certain way, and you're making this into a goal, and you're expecting them to make some kind of changes. That's the exact opposite of what the soul would do, and that's not my opinion. Again, go to the masters, the big names in spiritualism, the undisputed spiritual masters. Eckhart Tolle. You guys, you want to get your twin flame to come back? This is the best book for you to be reading. It's available in every language. In fact, all of these books are, I found out, that I keep referencing. It's called The Power of Now. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The first thing we need to talk about is you are not your mind. You are not your mind. And the second chapter is about consciousness, which is the soul, which is your twin flame. The soul doesn't care about outcomes. I just did that webinar last Tuesday called How to Align with Your Soul. And the first teaching I had to give was the soul doesn't care about outcomes. And that is exactly what you have to align with. And the mind hates that, doesn't it? It wants everything to like be steps and stages. And I need to know that I can get to the goal. And belief that you are this mental person, this mind, which itself wants to get to the goal, is why your twin flame is running. So the surface level reason is looking to an outcome, getting to a goal. I want my twin flame to be with me, right? They got to awaken, they got to heal, whatever, right? I don't like the way things are right now, etc., etc. That's what the mind is doing. That's pushing your twin flame away. But the underlying cause is the belief that you are the mind. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Shagun, thank you for your question. That was a really great way to start out today, you guys. Really good. Let's see what other questions we got here. I love this question. Hold on a second. Water is so good for you, you guys. All right, Dafina, what's up? Hello, my friend. When the divine masculine leaves, does he know the reason why he left? Does he feel that overwhelming energy and leave because of it? Or does he leave because he has no feelings and no desire for the divine feminine? Well, the short answer is no, not exactly. You could say that they unconsciously respond to the energy. And let me show you what the energy is. Okay, so there's that one. And then there's this one. All right, so the energy that they are responding to is the twin flame push-pull. And most people, this terminology has been around on the internet for a long time. The myths, too, the last question that I just did, right? I was here 8 years ago coaching twin flames and all those silly stages and your twin flame's going to awaken and all this. That was there 8 years ago. And I'm over here checking my watch going, okay, guys, when is divine masculine going to awaken? When are they going to experience? right? Nobody's has. I've had one or two people over the years go, well, mine did. And then I talk to them and I find out they're not even twin flames. Well, anyway, you may have heard the term twin flame push pull. Yeah, that was there before I even got here 8 years ago. The twin flame push pull, right? That terminology. But now in today's twin flame online space, most people think it's psychological. It's not psychological. It's mechanical. It's physics. You're not separate from your twin flame. You are one being. It's reincarnation. You met a past life version of yourself. This is why they run. You guys really are the same soul. And there's a legit, grounded, scientifically rational, simple. It's a simple explanation, too, that explains how you could be the same soul. And it complies with physics even, right? It doesn't violate any laws of physics. It's like known science. It's simple science. I'll talk about that in a second, but we'll just start with this. So the twin flame push-pull, it's because of energy, right? And it's akin to entropy, which is also akin to like the second law of thermodynamics. So the way that energy works in a closed energy system is where the greater energy pushes or escapes to the lesser energy system, like thermodynamics, for example. This is pretty simple science. So that's all that's going on here. So the mind is thought and emotion. The soul is consciousness, but the chakras are actually like radio transmitter receivers that are hardwired tuned to the soul. The consciousness of the soul filters through the chakras and out into your body, right? Out into the 3D. So the mind, which the chakras are part of, that complex, that system, the mind, right? Thoughts, emotions, chakras, metaphysical energy. You could call it the astral body, or you could just call it the mind. But kind of that whole ball of wax, right? You could think of it like an engine, and the soul is its fuel tank, right? And so when the consciousness of soul enters you, it enters through the mind, it becomes mental energy, right? And this is pretty well understood. Eastern philosophy, religion, they study this. They know kind of how this works. And it's been demonstrated even in a laboratory setting. There's researchers like Julia Mossbridge, these universities, the Center for Noetic Studies, the University of Virginia, University of Greenwich in London, they kind of understand how this works. Well, anyway, so it's one closed energy system that you're looking at on your screen. There's not two of you. Your twin flame is one of your past lives. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's why they're running. There's no them, therefore. You got to get your mind out of the separation box, right? There's no them. It's you, the real you, the soul interacting with itself, having an experience with itself. It's a past version interacting with a future version of itself, or a future version interacting with a past version on the physical level. But the soul is up there tied to all of this, right? Here, let me add this other graphic so that you can see that part. And by the way, if you're watching in Spanish, there's a link in the video description where all of these are translated into Spanish. If there's ever words on the screen. Oh, I've got them. Hold on. I just uploaded them. Hold on. What? Oh, shit. That's not what I wanted. That's okay. Hold on. Here it is. There we go. There's Spanish. Well, anyway, So this is the twin flame push pull. Now I've done like a really quick high level overview of the mechanics. I'll go a little deeper in a second, but it's physics, guys. It's energy. This is not soulmates. It's energy. You're looking at one closed energy system on your screen right now. When viewed from the higher self or the soul, that's the big circle. It sees all of the incarnations. So you've got different birth years, the red dots. Different birth years are the red dots for different lives that you've lived or will live. But right now, this is your experience. So it's just physics, guys. It's not psychological. And it's always been this. Again, I started 8 years ago. It was this. It's still this. It's not a psychological reason. And so, Dafina, I think you might be kind of clear about what my answer is, because you're looking in terms of psychology. What are they feeling? What are they thinking? And they could have some kind of reasons that they're giving you. They could say, oh, it was because of this. Or they could give you no reason. Let's take a survey right now. I'm going to show you something. Let's take a poll, a survey in the audience. So if it is true that they run a twin flame, divine masculine runs for psychological reasons, then that's going to be true for all twin flames, right? And no, it doesn't work different for everybody. Well, the sun rises in the east for some people, but then it rises in the west for other people. Yeah, right? Because this works just like soulmates, right? No, guys. The sun rises in the east for the same reason for everybody. That's the scientific method, right? The scientific method. So here's the experiment we're going to do. Here's the survey that we're going to do. So everybody in the chat, we got 78 wonderful people in the chat. Let's take a survey. All right. So there's two main groups. The first one, group number 1, put a 1 in the chat if your divine masculine twin flame gave you a reason, any reason, even a stupid reason, even a totally cooked up lame ass reason, but just some kind of a reason for why they ran away from you the first time they ever ran away. Put a 1 in the chat. If they didn't give you any reason, they just ghosted or blocked you, or they just said, I don't know, I just got to go. Like that. Put a 2 in the chat. 1 in the chat if they gave you a reason, any reason. They said something. 2 in the chat if they gave you no reason. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Keep going. Keep them coming. Yep. Oh, really? Most of you, it looks like most of you are saying 2. So no reason was given. There's a lot of 1s though. Yep. So just looking at this first glance, I'm going to say, like 60-40s. 60% no reason was given. 40% a reason was given. Okay. Now, number 1 people that you put a number 1 in the chat. Now, I'd like you to put the letter A if they gave you a dumb reason. Right? Or put a B if they gave you a good reason, like a seemingly good reason, like, oh, I'm married or kids. A is a dumb reason, like, well, I'm just not feeling it. Or I'm just not ready yet, which is a dumb reason, because if you know anything about relationships, somebody that says, I'm not ready, that's bullshit. That's always bullshit, because as soon as they meet the right person, they're ready Okay. That's how that works. So I'm not ready yet is a B. Or I'm sorry. Yeah. Or no, I'm not ready yet is A, right? They gave you a dumb reason is group A. They give you a good reason is group B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So that's always what it is. Yeah, it's about half and half. So for people where you were given a reason. Now, here's what I'm trying to point out to you right now. If it was true that your twin flame runs for psychological reasons, then that would be the answer for everybody. But we have 60% of the people in the chat putting the number 2 saying, no, they didn't give me any reason. They just fucking left. Well, they're an avoidant. Maybe they're not an avoidant. That's another thing. These reasons for why your twin flame is going to run or whatever it is. Again, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've seen the reasons that people circulate online come and go over the 8 years, right? So 8 years ago, it was, oh, well, they've got wounds that need to be healed. But it was actually this. It was physics. And then a couple years later, they said, well, it's because they're a narcissist. Yeah. And then that reason went away, and it was still this on your screen. And now they're an avoidant. And the next thing is going to be the nervous system. You know, that's kind of the trending thing on the internet right now. It's the divine masculine nervous system. So which is it, guys? Is it they need to heal their wounds? Is it they're a narcissist? Is it they're an avoidant? Is it the nervous system? Which one is it, guys? I've been up here for 8 years. All of these other reasons have come and gone over the 8 years. So it's still physics. It's still mechanics why they run. You're not separate from your twin flame. It's energy. So Dafina, why does your twin flame run? When he runs, does he know the reason he left? Well, now you know the reason why he runs. What does he feel? He's just got to get the hell out of there, and I'll give him any old reason to do it. I'll give you any old reason to get the hell out of there. When they got to go, they just got to go, Dafina. They just got to go. If you guys, any of you have been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you remember when I used to do tarot readings, and sometimes I would sing little songs, and it was, I'm divine masculine, and I got to go now. I don't know why. I just got to go. I just got to get the fuck out of here. Sometimes I've talked to students and their twin flame tells them, I don't know, it's just too much energy. I just got to get the fuck out of here. I like you and everything, but I got to get out. I don't know. It's too much. I got to go. They've said that to my students sometimes. That's it. That's all. They just got to go. If they give you a reason, great, but that's not the real reason they run. And that's not even most of the people. I just, again, took this little survey today. Only 40%. And I mean, I guess somebody could watch the replay and count them, and they're going to go, well, it was 50-50, Kurt. Well, close enough. It's usually like a 60-40 split or a 50-50 split. And half the people or more today seemed to have said, yeah, no, they didn't give me any kind of reason at all. They just had to go. Right. It's energy. And they don't, they don't leave because they don't have feelings for you. They might think that's what it is. Right? Maybe they feel like they do not have feelings for you. And then other times they still got to go. Like I had the one, like I just said, the one student I had that was like, yeah, he told me that he still has feelings for me, but he's just got to get the fuck away from me. So which is it? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's this. It's always this. They just got to get away. They just got to get away. That's all. I'm divine masculine and I got to go now. So yeah, it's just mechanics, guys. And Dafina, thank you for your question. That was such a great question. Yeah, it's just energy, guys. And the good news is there's something you can do about it. You can be with your twin flame permanently. You can be together with them. Some people, they attract their twin flame back and then they decide they don't want them anymore. You don't have to be with your twin flame, but they're going to want to be with you. You don't have to. I even have here, let me show you. I got a student on here, English and Spanish. You gonna do it? There. There we go. Okay. English and Spanish, whichever one. I got a Spanish success stories playlist too. You can come check it out. Scroll down a little bit. You'll find, oh, is she on here? Oh, fuck, I didn't put her on here. I got to put her on here. Apologies, Spanish speakers. I guess you're going to have to go to my English channel. Maybe I'll put it up next week or something on the Spanish YouTube channel. But anyway, on the English one, there's this gal right here. It's called Her Twin Flame Wants Her. She doesn't want him. And she's like, got her hand over her mouth and she's going, oh, right. It's controversial. Oh my God. So Carly, and she's awesome. But it's just an interesting story. And I don't know what her reason was. She showed me a picture of him once. Maybe it had something to do with that. He was a good looking guy and everything, but I looked at him and I was like, well, he's kind of like a metrosexual kind of, guy, like a sophisticated city boy looking. I don't know. Maybe she's just not into that kind of guy and she wants a guy that's more like masculine, roar, I don't know. Or maybe he's annoying. I don't know. I don't know. But you don't have to. You don't have to be with your twin flame, guys. But if you align with your soul, they are sure going to want to be with you. And he still wants her. He still wants to talk to her. She's not in the friend zone. He is. But it's your decision as the feminine. All you got to do is align with your soul. And it's not healing. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point today. Great question. All right, next question, M77777. Thank you for the super chat. When my other self, twin flame, that's what we call twin flame because they are you. They're another incarnation of your soul. When my other self kicked me out of his company in front of all of his employees, that's kind of messed up. I felt like the universe was mocking me. Well, it doesn't work that way. But continuing, to this day, I still can't believe how he was able to do that to his own soul. Unbelievable. Well, he does not know that you guys are the same soul. He never, ever will. They do not awaken. We just talked about that. Again, just real quick, if anybody's watching the replay and they missed the part where I covered that, what constitutes a spiritual awakening, you don't get to decide, everybody, what that is. It's well understood. It's been well understood by the great spiritual masters for thousands of years. Yogananda, Krishnamurti, the Buddha, Alan Watts, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, right? The big names in spiritualism. Ramana Maharshi, Rumi, right? Not some random person on YouTube. And now in today's world, scientists, psychologists, and paranormal researchers at prestigious universities and institutions. There's a link in the description to both the English and Spanish versions of this scientific paper. This is a peer-reviewed scientific paper from prestigious universities written by psychologists and college professors. They're even using the word union. They're talking about Kundalini, and later they talk about clairsentience, becoming psychic, these types of things. So it's not up for debate what a spiritual awakening is, even if some random new ager on Facebook is telling you that an awakening is this, this, and this. No, this is a very well understood phenomenon, what a spiritual awakening really is. So use the trusted resources if you want to know what that is. So, yeah, M777, that's fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry that happened. But yeah, your twin flame, they're not going to awaken and realize that you're twin flames. That's a myth. The divine masculine absolutely will not have a spontaneous spiritual awakening. It's not going to happen, guys. If they go through a period of suffering, that is not a spiritual awakening. The period of suffering for it to be a spiritual awakening, for it to qualify as the definition, not my definition, not Kurt's definition, the definition as defined by Buddha, Jesus, Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, Eckhart Tolle, Ram Dass, Ramana Maharshi, and now scientists. The definition of a spiritual awakening is, yes, it starts out painfully. It does, but then it's followed by Kundalini, becoming psychic, an increase of deja vu, out of body experiences, heart chakra opening, a divine sense of oneness, a sense of oneness. You don't understand it. You just know beyond mind. You're not thinking it. You feel it viscerally. You know that you are the sky and the trees and the buildings and everything, right? That's what union is. That's why the word union is being used in this scientific paper, right? So this is a very well understood phenomenon. Your divine masculine's not going to have this. They're not going to awaken. It's a myth. And they're not going to go, oh, I get it. We're twin flames. You do. You're the feminine. You're the awakened twin. You're the leader here. And that is not a good thing that he did, but I don't know. He just had to get you the fuck away from him, I guess. We just talked about that. When they got to go, they got to go. And sometimes they do some fucking toxic shit to get you away from them. Well, maybe we should talk about that. Maybe we should talk about that, because here's another myth that we could bust about twin flames. Let's talk about what twin flames are. So in the chat, let me know, what is a twin flame? What is a twin flame? And to your follow-up question, no, he doesn't really sense that there's something different about you. If your twin flame, if he comes back, by the way, this is a mistake people make. They come back temporarily. You got them to come back for a little bit. And they go, oh, you bet. We're twin flames. I love you. And I know we're twin flames. You bet. And you go, Kurt, see, you're wrong. He knows we're twin flames and he senses that there's something different about us, right? But then they run away again. Immediately they go, I never believed that. We're not twin flames. I never said that. I just said that. Right. They said that because they were just trying to be nice to you. Guys, they are the unconscious reactive twin. You are the conscious creative twin. You cause, they respond. You are the cause, they are the effect, right? It works like that. So no, they don't know that you're twin flames. They just respond to you energetically. Well, anyway, let's talk about exactly what this is. So the agreed upon definition of twin flame is two people who are the same soul. That's, everybody knows that. That's what that is. Well, how could that be possible? How is it that you are the same soul? And it's not the soul splits. It's not that. That came from a literary work called Symposium, written by Plato. Also, I never can remember, Aristophanes talked about it, and some other people. And they wrote poetry, basically, or they wrote a fictional story. And in the case of Plato, it was, yes, it was as if the soul split and the two lovers were reunited together as one, and they looked into each other's eyes and they loved each other so much and yes, and they could never be apart again. And somebody read that and they go, yes, that's twin flames. No, that's not twin flames. You guys, you're watching me right now because your twin flame's not fucking talking to you at all. How is that like what Plato wrote in his story or Aristophanes? And neither of those guys said anything about Kundalini, becoming psychic, an increase of deja vu, out of body experiences, heart chakra opening, a sense of oneness, ear ringing, satori, paranormal experiences, seeing ghosts, talking to your dead grandmother, literally those things. They never said anything about it. They never said anything about the dark night of the soul. Plato, Aristophanes never said any of those things. It was romantic prose. Somebody saw that and they go, oh, that's got to be it. That's how twin flames work. You bet. It's quantum entanglement. No, that's not how quantum entanglement works. Quantum entanglement is actually a decent explanation for soulmates. Guys, I've got the most awesomest, simple, rational, easy to understand, powerful explanation. It's reincarnation. It's reincarnation. Really. Watch this. Is it going to do it? What are you doing? Yeah. You're going to do it? There we go. Okay. So again, when viewed from the perspective of your higher self, all of the lives that you have lived or will live are happening from its perspective in real time. From higher planes, what does science tell us about time? Well, there is no time from higher planes. Down here in the 3D, in the physical, we seem to experience linear time. Granted, it's relative. So it's a matter of perspective. And that's really how time works. From higher planes of existence, there's no time, guys. Where do you go when you die? A higher plane. Now, most people assume that when you reincarnate into your next life, you're going to go into the next year. So if you die in 60 years, it'll be the year 2086, right? And so when I reincarnate, I'm going to go into 2087 because it's reincarnation and that's what you do, right? Well, yeah, you could do that, but you don't have to. Guys, reincarnation is a time machine. You can hop all around in time. You can go from the present day when you die, where it says present day, you and your twin flame. That's what those two dots are, present day, right? And then go back to 1770 and reincarnate there. You can do that. There isn't any reason that you can't do that. Twin flames is just reincarnation, guys. That's all it is. Your twin flame, gosh darn it. I clicked the wrong button. Your twin flame is a past life version of yourself. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. So reincarnation, you can hop all around in time. And that's not, that's not news. That's not novel at all. People have been talking about that for a long, long time. That's not novel at all, guys. That's long established. So this is not only what a twin flame is, right? It explains how the two of you can be the same soul. It explains the push-pull, the energy that makes them run. Like if you're the divine feminine and you have more energy, where did it come from? Well, what happens when you reincarnate a bunch of times? You grow, you increase energetically, you gain consciousness. That's another very well accepted, long established teaching about reincarnation. So it explains how the two of you can be the same soul. It explains why your twin flame runs, the push-pull, this, right? and it complies with very basic physical laws. There isn't anything, I'm not pushing the envelope of physics or science at all. The only thing that a conventional, like a materialist atheist scientist would have a problem with is the idea that there's reincarnation. Now, 60% of the world's population recognizes reincarnation. And I even made a video about that. If you want to go check it out. Is it on here? Of course it is. If you go to my YouTube channel, here it is. Go to my YouTube channel, English or Spanish. Find this playlist. It's called The True Twin Flame Teachings. It's available in English and Spanish. Go check that out. Find this playlist, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find a video here called How the Soul Works and Reincarnation 2. How the Soul Works and Reincarnation 2. The first thing that I do is I get down to the business of debunking the myth that there's no evidence for reincarnation. And I'm over here going, bull crap. There's a bunch. Oh, it didn't show my screen. This freaking StreamYard, I'm telling you, man. I'm having technical difficulties here. There it is. How the Soul Works on the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. How the Soul Works. And the first thing that I do is I bust the myth that there's no evidence for reincarnation. Also, 60% of the world's population knows that there is reincarnation. So again, I'm not pushing the science at all. I'm not doing anything even the slightest bit presumptuous or weird with the science at all. This explains how you can be the same soul. It explains why they run. And it also is perfectly in alignment with simple physics. This is a simple explanation. And it explains a lot of shit too. Like all twin flames, your eyes look the same. The one exception, there's one exception. Interracial twin flame pairs. About half of interracial, and I mean, it's got to be like an Asian and a black guy, right? Like pretty different. Not, Latino and a white girl, right? That you can still kind of see it. It's got to be pretty different. Races, about half of them you can't tell. So it's a very small percentage of people that met their twin flame where the eyes don't match. And I'm talking about the shape, not the color necessarily, but the shape, like the shape of the bone or the facial structure around your eyes, right? And let me see if I can find this picture. About half of the people that met a twin flame who are interracial, they still look the same. Like their whole fucking face looks the same. It's crazy. Where is it? Hold on. Is it in here? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yep. All right. You guys are going to flip when you see this. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is one of my early twin flame coaching students in Morocco. Here, let me actually, hold on. Let me get a better one. This is when you let go of the twin flame hype and the obsession for your twin flame, this actually becomes really fascinating thing to talk about, you guys. It really does. Because, like, for example, I consider myself a paranormal researcher, really. Um, okay, where is it? There it is. Can you see that? I think you can see that. Maybe. Almost. Is it this one? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Because I want to zoom in. Look at that. Look at their faces, you guys. Look, they even have the same nose. So the woman is my twin flame coaching student. She's American, and that's her getting married to her divine masculine in Morocco. He is Moroccan, and you can still see it. Why? Why do they look the same? Because they are the same soul. It's her past life. She's getting married to a person who she used to be. You guys, your twin flame is somebody who you used to be in a past life. You're watching a replay. Every time you see your twin flame doing stuff, you're watching a replay of things you did in the first person. You're watching a replay of one of your past lives. Okay? You guys are really the same soul. For really real. This is, I mean, you guys, there's so much that we could learn from this. So much. So M777, I am really sorry that you're having that experience, man. That's messed up, but I'm just trying to put this into perspective for you. And this opens up a question about karma and dharma and all kinds of stuff. Because, guys, have all of you been a perfect angel in all of your past lives? Apparently not. I mean, every time, you ask some new ager who they used to be in one of their past lives, it's, oh, you bet. I was the Queen of England. I was a famous rock star. I was Cleopatra. Of course you were. Yeah, you know who else you were? A handmaid, a housewife, a guy that worked at a mill, a miner working in a mine, a bank robber, perhaps, a narcissist. But you've also been a saint and a loving mother. You know, you've done all kinds of things, guys. The soul wants experiences. So M777, I hope that helps with your question or your statement. All right, next one. The Planet Lena. Thank you for your super chat. What if you're addicted to your twin flame and you can't detach even though they're being toxic? Very simple. The twin flame journey is really just the true spiritual journey. So, to detach from my twin flame is to detach from my mind. So, what is detaching? Well, in the Zen traditions, Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, and I don't think Buddha and Jesus used those words, but they taught the same concepts. But in modern days, you've got Paramahansa Yogananda, Alan Watts, Krishnamurti, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira. Where is it? Rupert Spira, right? The masters, the big names in spiritualism, right? Real spiritualism, not the new age healing hype on the internet. The masters are going to tell you healing is cool and everything, but that doesn't make you consciousness. Separation is the word that they use to describe the mind. So the mind, because it is duality, believes that it's separate from everything. And Lena, you believe that you are that. But think about a newborn baby. So day one, brand new, newborn baby, right? Is the baby lying there thinking about who it is? I've got a picture. You guys ready for this? Do you know who that is? Ah, there he is. And I was 1 day old. This is the day after I was born. Was I lying there thinking about who I am? Was I lying there thinking about who I am? Obviously not. That doesn't come until the age of 7 or 8. And even a psychologist will tell you that. So, what happens is you live a few years of life as a child and you start to accumulate these retained thought and emotional imprints, and they start to constitute. And Lena, I'm answering your question, by the way, so listen up. Those retained thought and emotional patterns start to constitute a sense of self, an identity. This is why earlier I said spiritualism is not a personality type. It's not thought, it's not self-concept. So, a newborn baby, there's nothing going on inside the baby except for one thing: awareness, consciousness. Eckhart Tolle, who is essentially the modern day Buddha, again, this is the best beginner's book for anybody on the twin flame journey. There's no twin flame journey, actually. The twin flame journey is really just the true spiritual journey. And I mean that. It's the true spiritual journey. That's why healing does not help you here. Healing is good, healing is great, but it's not spiritual. It's psychology, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't make you more of a soul. Well, anyway, this is available in every language. I don't care what language you're watching me in, get this book. It's called The Power of Now. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Another great beginner's book, also available in lots of different languages, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Write it down, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Now, The Power of Now, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, the modern day Buddha, Eckhart Tolle, Real Spiritualism. The name of the first chapter is You Are Not Your Mind. That's the first thing we got to talk about. It's so important that we got to talk about it first. So you believe that you are thinking and analyzing and trying to figure things out and trying to detach from your twin flame, and that's not you. Sure, there's psychological methods where they describe detaching, and they might work for people in a different situation, but I'm talking about the spiritual definition. So, you're not your mind. The mind, again, in the Zen traditions, the masters, they call it separation because the mind believes it is separate. And now you think you are that. You believe yourself to be this identity. Like if I was to ask you, Lena, who you are, you would go, well, I do these things and I do those things and I like this and I like that. And I feel this way about these types of things and so on. But that's not who you are. Those are concepts and emotions, and those are not bad. That's just what that is. It's the ego. It's the id, the personality, the self-concept, or the separate self. Because again, the mind is duality. It believes itself to be separate. I am me, and there's that whole universe out there which is separate from me. And it is the mind that's in control, trying to figure out what to do about them. There's me and there's them. And that's 100% of the reason why your twin flame runs. It's also 100% of the reason why you are having a hard time detaching, because you believe you are that which is trying to detach. Yeah, somebody in the chat is going, Twin Flame doesn't make, or Eckhart Tolle doesn't make twin flame content. And you're right. Because, or wait, Tolle doesn't make twin flames false? I don't know what you mean by that. But your twin flame simply triggers your spiritual awakening, and you just need to do your spiritual awakening. And for you to do your spiritual awakening, you need to do real spiritualism. That's all this is. Your twin flame is just a catalyst. But if you embrace your awakening instead of chasing the person, they come back. Well, anyway, Lena, that's the first thing that you need to get clear here. You're not trying to figure out how to detach. The mind, because it is duality, separation, it also feels separate from a goal or from an outcome. So I'm here, I'm attached. How do I get to this future outcome where I detach? Past, future. The soul, however, always is existing in the eternal moment of now. Hence the name, the power of now, the timeless, formless essence of self. It is consciousness. It's not thought. It's not emotion. You don't heal your way there. Healing is good. Healing is great. It's not spiritual, and it doesn't make you more of a soul. Rearranging the thoughts in your mind, feeling different emotions, right? Psychology, healing, thinking differently, feeling different emotions, right? That's great, but it's not going to make you consciousness. All you need to do is detach from the mind. What's the second chapter of Master Eckhart's book? Consciousness, the way out of pain. You guys, if you met your twin flame, this is your journey towards full-blown Buddha-level enlightenment. And I'm not kidding. And enlightenment, spiritualism does not mean only feeling good all the time, only ever. You will always have this mental mask that you are wearing while you are down here in duality. But there's a you who is having the mask. Who is the you? Consciousness. And you are consciousness first, like the newborn baby. And you don't think your way into consciousness. You experience it. It's a being, right? So like, for example, if you head over to my YouTube channel, hold on a second. Okay. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Okay. The True Twin Flame Teachings. English, Spanish, doesn't matter. There's a video called How to Meditate. How to Meditate. It's free, guys. Free 99. It's the best price. Whoops, not that one. This one. Yeah, How to Meditate. It's only 16 minutes. Go check it out. And it's a good, oh, is it sharing my screen? No. Stupid thing. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Go check it out. How to Meditate on the True Twin Flame Teachings playlist. Go check it out. English or Spanish. How to Meditate. It's only 16 minutes long. And it's like the basics of meditation. It's not like I guide you through a meditation. I'm explaining how to actually do it, right? And it really is where you just got to allow awareness. You're allowing yourself to be aware that you are the awareness itself. You are aware that you are awareness. So, meditation, Lena, lots of meditation, at least 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. I recommend actually not before bed. I've been telling my students that, and then a lot of them, they get tired and they fall asleep while they're trying to meditate. And I said, well, okay, wait, maybe you should do it like after dinner or something, right? But as much as you can, and also mindfulness, learning the master's teachings, read this book, read the other book. Um, Also, a really great film for you to watch. Just hop on YouTube and type in Samadhi, 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 4 parts. Make sure you watch part 1 first. Don't skip around, or the rest of them, they won't make sense to you. Make sure you watch part 1. And it has audio dubbing. So if you're watching me in a different language, you can go pull that movie up and turn on audio dubbing, and it'll play it back for you in Spanish or whatever. This movie, it's only an hour long, guys. It'll change your whole game. It'll change your life, I dare say. Notice the secondary title of the movie is called Maya, the Illusion of Self. Now, what is that? Well, Maya is an ancient Zen term to describe the separate self, the ego, the illusion of self. You believe that you are this thinking entity, the mask of self. And that's not who you are. You are the consciousness underneath it. So even when you are meditating, you could be sitting there fully aware of the fact that you are awareness and observing the mind instead of believing that you are the mind. To detach from my twin flame is to detach from my mind. So if you take my advice here today, Lena, you will naturally and organically notice a shift over time where you don't really care about your twin flame. If you are twin flames, that's always what happens. To detach from my twin flame is to detach from my mind. Great question, my friend. You're not your mind. You are something well beyond that. Holy guacamole. Look at that. Look at that super chat. Let me look at something here. That looks like a lot of money. Yeah. Well, that's not yen. What is that? I wonder what that is. I don't know what that symbol is. Huh. Interesting. Well, whatever it is, it's probably $10. And I love that. I don't know who you are, but that really means a lot to me, dude. I love that. I know that's probably a lot of money to you. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Super chat, remote worker, connected to my consciousness way before meeting my divine masculine. He was psychic. He brought heart opening wholeness, frequency of divine love in my essence. I'm awake, but also suffering a lot, too much pain. Do I need to just heal my animus? No. You need to remember that you're not the animus, which is exactly what I just talked about. You are not your mind. This is why healing does not bring your twin flame back. It does not make you spiritual. Healing, good. Healing, great, but not spiritual. And that's not debated by the great spiritual masters. People might debate me on that. I get on YouTube every day and go, you don't need to do healing to be a soul. And they go, that Kurt, he sure is an asshole. Who does he think he is? Right? And again, to the language of emotionalism, empiricism sounds like hate. You know, people, they've made an identity out of spiritualism. They think they're going to heal their way into becoming spiritual. And it's It's spiritual bypassing is what it really is. You can't think your way into the soul. You were consciousness first. And so there might be some new agers on the internet debating me on that question. But try to go tell the Buddha that you can heal your way into consciousness. Try to go tell Jesus that. Jesus was one of the most, if not the most, misunderstood spiritual masters. This book is available in English, Spanish, and a lot of other languages. It's called Jesus Christ Zen Master. Post-awakening, you read a book like this and you're going to go, oh, that's what he was talking about, right? Like modern Christians, unfortunately, have twisted a lot of that. Also, Paramahansa Yogananda, Krishnamurti, Alan Watts, Ram Dass, Eckhart Tolle, right? The masters, the big names. Look at my epistemology. Look at my resources. Look at where I'm getting my information from, guys. I'm not just winging it. I'm not just making it up when I go, you don't need healing to get your twin flame to come back or to end the suffering. You need to release that which is broken. You are not that. That's what all the masters are going to tell you. Who are you going to listen to? Some random person on YouTube or Facebook, some new ager, nice enough person and everything. But they're telling you to rearrange the contents of your mind, feeling different emotions, right? Healing, psychology. That is not going to make you more consciousness. And anyway, mind came from consciousness, don't you know? Mind cannot become consciousness. Again, a newborn baby like yours truly, 1 day old newborn baby. Ah, there's little Kurt, 1 day old. I wasn't thinking about who I was. I didn't have an animus. I didn't have a personality. I didn't have any of that. It was just awareness, consciousness. That's all that's coming out of the baby. Only awareness. That's the soul. It's the soul. It just reincarnated. It's day one. The only thing going on in there, consciousness. Why? Because that's the soul. The thinking came later. So trust the masters. Use the tried and true trusted teachings. The tried and true trusted teachings of the masters. Healing great, healing good, healing not spiritual though. It's not. And again, there's a lot of nice people on the internet who have invested in a personality type. Like I have to look spiritual and act spiritual. And part of that is, well, let me say this first. Spiritual is not a personality type. We definitely just talked about that just now. The ego, the collection of retained thought and emotional imprints, which wasn't there on day one. It's not the soul. The soul is consciousness, not thought. So a personality, an ego, a collection of retained thought and emotional imprints is not consciousness. It's a personality. And a lot of people, nice people and everything, they have a personality type that they think makes them look spiritual. And that's usually where this advice is coming from. Nice people, but misguided. Some of them are toxic, but they're usually pretty nice people. And they think, oh, I just have to be nice. And I can only be nice ever. And if I'm only nice all the time, only ever, that proves that I'm spiritual. No, you can be a wascally wabbit. You guys remember that? Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd said, I'm going to get that wascally wabbit, right? You could be a wascally wabbit like Alan Watts, one of the greatest spiritual teachers of all time in the 1960s, drinking and smoking. Because that's what everybody did. And he would be telling dirty jokes, and, he was one hell of a guy, man. And then yours truly, I'm kind of a wascally wabbit. I say fuck and I eat red meat, and that's just about all I eat. And Colorado green chili. Got my grandma's recipe. She was a sweet woman. Grandma Johnson. But it's not a personality type. You can't become spiritual. You were that in the first place. There's a documentary about Ram Dass. Again, modern day spiritual master, Ram Dass. It's called Becoming Nobody. Ram Dass, Becoming Nobody. Ram Dass, Becoming Nobody. Where is it? I know there's a picture of him in here. Well, that's okay. Just Google him. Ram Dass. Anyway, the documentary is called Becoming Nobody. And it's about exactly that. Unbecoming the identity of self, right? And it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there buzzing around you, making noise, right? It's just not who you are. I got to answer the door. That's the end of this teaching. But I'll be right back. Give me just a minute. All right. I don't know why that guy has to ring the doorbell every time. It's the meter reader, right? He's here to read the electric meter. And I told him, just go read the meter. You don't need to ring my doorbell. Silly guy. All right. Next super chat. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. She said a third eye vision showed loving union, yet it showed him older in appearance. He is currently married. Do I hold out for him or let go? Are third eye visions always spot on? I just wrote an article about this last night. So those of you that are signed up for my email list, you get about 3 to 5 articles a week delivered to your inbox. That's something I've been doing a lot of, writing. And I had to make the distinction between like telepathy and intuition and this kind of thing. Because your mind, it'll play some dirty tricks on you when you're at the beginning of this journey. And I had some of that too. And of course, none of the things that I saw ever happened. And then later I found out how it does work, because I would get intuition in my heart, and those things do happen. Like, you're going to be with your twin flame, or you're going to coach twin flames, right? I knew that I would be doing those things. And intuition, it usually comes from the heart. And it's this very strong, usually very strong, sometimes faint, but usually very strong sense of knowing. It's a knowing. And it often even feels like deja vu, kind of, right? It has that deja vu like character of feel to it. Now, with deja vu, the information is you've been here before, right? That's deja vu. With intuition, the information is something about a future event, something about another person, or something that's true for you. So they both, deja vu and intuition, they both kind of feel the same, right? It's just the information can be different for either one of those. Well, they're both coming from the same place. And as a matter of fact, is it going to do it? Come on. There you go. Let me hide that for a second. So if you, do I have a better, oh, I do have a better one. Hold on 1 second. So Michelle, I'll make this make sense to you. Because what I'm going to tell you is to not trust that. It could be. But also there's a better way. There's a better way, is what I'm telling you, to get information about the future. So Spanish speakers, I apologize. But this says 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 4 months ago, today, next week, 1 year from now, right? And so when you get deja vu, you're here going, I've been here before. What the hell? Right? Why is that? Well, because your higher self is on a higher plane. There is no time on higher planes. Even a scientist will tell you that, right? And the higher self is pinging you, going, you're where you should be. You're good, right? Or sometimes I wonder if deja vu is like a timeline shift, deja vu. Now intuition, you're getting intuition today, and you just know something about something that's going to happen in a year. How can you be getting that information? Well, because it's coming from up here. The higher self can see all of these moments in time simultaneously, right? And again, it's this weird, eerie knowing, and it emanates from your torso. It comes from your body, usually the heart, sometimes like the solar plexus or your sacral, right? And those, like the ones that I get that come from lower, have this kind of like matter of factness, character of feel to them. You would had to have had these experiences, you guys, for you to really get what I'm talking about. But that's why I use deja vu as a way to try to explain it, because it's a lot like that. So you can kind of understand me here. Well, anyway, Michelle, for whatever you saw in your third eye, if you saw a vision, because I've gotten those too, where there was a vision, but it started with the knowing in the heart. Remember, you have these handy dandy little things called chakras, and they're all perfectly capable of performing different tasks. In fact, that's exactly what they're for. The heart chakra is in the middle, because it's the primary one. It's the central main chakra, which is connected to your soul, your higher self, right? And so that's why most of the intuition you get is in the heart. And it's this weird, mysterious knowing. It's not thinking, it's not emotion, and it feels like deja vu sometimes. A lot, actually. Not always. But the reason, again, the reason I use deja vu as a reference is because if you've ever had that, you know what I mean by it's not thought, it's not emotion, it's this weird, mysterious knowing, right? That's intuition. Now, Michelle, if you had a third eye vision about the future, you will have the knowing and intuition with it. And I've had those, and they came true. I had visions about future events. There was the knowing, and it's usually just the knowing. And that's all. This sensation that emanates from your chest, from your torso, but nothing from the head, just from the chest, right? That's most of the intuition I get. But I've had one or two where the intuition was really strong in my chest, and there was a vision that like flashed in my head of the ocean, right? And I was with her. And it happened. Now, if you're seeing stuff in your mind and there's no intuitive knowing with it, it's just your monkey mind. And I got those too in the past, and they didn't happen. Right? You see the difference? So your monkey mind is perfectly capable of creating realistic seeming things in your head. But the way to tell is if intuition accompanies that. Let me show you something. By the way, this isn't just my experience. This is the experience that I'm explaining to you guys, because a lot of people have this experience that I'm describing to you right now. Okay. So come on. There we go. So this again, right? Julia Mossbridge. You go to YouTube, type in "Closer to Truth," Julia Mossbridge, and it's the second one. Julia Mossbridge on ESP and paranormal phenomenon. Really great interview.
I'm sorry.
Listen to her credentials. Julia Mossbridge discusses the main trends in parapsychology, transpersonal psychology, and ESP research over the last decade. ESP, as in psychic ability, right? Dr. Julia Mossbridge is an American cognitive neuroscientist, author, and educator who works on exceptional human performance, including psychic effects, notably on precognition and presentiment. She is Senior Distinguished Fellow in Human Potential at the Center for the Future Mind at Florida Atlantic University, member of the Loomis Innovation Council at the nonpartisan Stimson Center, affiliate professor in the Department of Biophysics and Physics at University of San Diego, and founder and board chair of the nonprofit Institute for Love and Time. So,
better judge of precognitive remote.
She is a somebody, right? She's not a nobody. She's getting funding. The institutions that she works with, and I'm sure she gets paid through those institutions, but they're getting money guys to do research into this type of phenomenon. The reason they're getting money is because they can use the scientific method to demonstrate duplicatable, repeatable scientific case studies in psychic phenomenon, telepathy, right? These types of things. And she can write scientific papers, peer-reviewed scientific papers in prestigious journals talking about how psychic ability works. It's not, well, I feel like it's true. It's the truth. And again, some people, they don't like it when I get up here and talk about this stuff and bust myths. And there's a lot of people on the internet, guys, by the way, who are making things up. You don't know who these people are that you're talking to, you guys. You're talking to them on Facebook. You guys, I've come across people that were in my coaching program. I don't get a lot of them, but they told me that they had like diagnosed psychosis and stuff like that. And they're insisting that their twin flame is talking to them in their head. And I've had this conversation with them. So they'll hear like voices on this part of their head or this part of their head, but not from the pineal gland, which is where telepathy comes from, right? And there's people on the internet that don't like it when I bust these myths because they have an emotional investment in spirituality as a personality type, like we just discussed. They think spiritual is a personality type. And so when I bust the myths, they get mad. Why? Because empiricism sounds like hate to the language of emotionalism. The language of empiricism sounds like hate to the language of emotionalism. So they get mad. And again, you don't know who these people are. Like somebody with psychosis, this student of mine even, they were in my program for several months, and you're talking to them and you're having a conversation and they seem like a normal person. But over time, certain behaviors start to emerge. Okay. It takes time for these things to become evident to you. And I'm not a psychologist, but I knew something was up. And then eventually they told me they had that going on, psychosis. And one of the symptoms is listening to the voices in your head, right? Psychosis. And they think that makes them psychic. And that's not it, guys. So nobody gets to decide what psychic ability is, including myself. But there are scientists who can tell you what it is. They can tell you what it is. And they get lots of money to research how it does work and what it does feel like. So, Michelle, I hope that helps. If it was a legit psychic vision, you would have had the knowing with it. Otherwise, it's just monkey mind. And your monkey mind is perfectly capable of emitting realistic seeming things like that. It's a thing. Next question. Thank you, Chris Rowan, for the super chat. Is it common to come to 3D union in an untraditional way? I'm questioning the journey now. Although everything happened, awakening, dark night, separation, and the return. No labels or big promises, and I'm open to meeting others. I mean, it could be any kind of way. Let me give you an example. I had somebody ask me once on a live stream, what if my twin flame is married, but he still wants to be with me? And I said, well, what are you just going to be, a side chick? Which is fine if you're okay with that. And she said, well, no, because it's a sexless marriage. They live in different parts of the house. They don't sleep in the same bed. They don't kiss. They don't hug. They don't touch. They don't like each other. The only reason they're still married is money. That's it. Money and the kids. They can't stand each other. And his basically ex-wife now knows he's having other relationships and she doesn't care. Are they married? It's just a fucking piece of paper at that point. You're just doing it for tax reasons or whatever, right? I go, well, you're okay with it. He's okay with it. Go be with him. Go be with him. Or don't. That's up to you. I mean, it's your decision what to do morally or whatever. It doesn't have to be any kind of way. You guys could just be friends. You could put them in the friend zone. You don't even have to be with them. You don't ever have to talk to them again. So, Chris Rowan, you could do whatever you want. This is your awakening. And that's all this is. But when it comes to the person, your other self, your twin flame, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you think is the right thing to do. If they're in a relationship and you want to spend time with them and you're comfortable with that, go do that. And I'm not saying to be a homewrecker, but that's up to you, dude. I'm only here to tell you how this shit works. You could think of Kurt, myself, right? You could think of me as the Chilton manual. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Whoops. I am here to tell you how the machine works, right? This is a description. When I explain twin flames to you, it's a description, not a prescription. You guys, if you want to chase the shit out of your twin flame, you be my guest, but I'm going to tell you probably don't do that because you guys want to be with your twin. That's why when I tell you do this, right? It's because that's always the question. But by no means am I ever going to insist you have to do things a certain way when it comes to your twin flame. If you want to chase the shit out of them, be my guest, but I'm assuming you want them. Or how about in what form will it take when we are together? What form will that take? Right? So this is a Chilton shop manual, right? And these are, I mean, pretty in-depth shop manuals about how the car works, how to fix the shit when it's broken. It's the next best thing to the mechanic's shop manual, right? So that's all I'm trying to do. Here's how the shit works. If you want to be with them, here's what you do. Here's how you do that. But what form that takes, that's up to you, man. These teachings are a description, not a prescription. If you want to be with your twin flame, whatever form that takes, you go right on ahead, my friend. You go right on ahead. No problem. Yeah, enjoy. All it is your awakening. Just enjoy this experience, guys. You don't have to do anything, and you don't not have to do anything. Yeah, and this person too. Here's another person asking basically the same question. My twin flame and I are both married with children. When I detach and focus on myself, he comes closer. Of course he does. Should I keep focusing on myself or engage when he returns? Well, you should keep focusing on yourself when he returns. And let's be clear about that because, and I think you know this, I mean, if you're getting your twin flame to come back, then you kind of have some experience with this, but it's not really focusing on myself. It's I am the focus itself. I am the consciousness, right? You are aware that you are awareness. You're not the monkey mind, is what's going on. But it's not up to me to tell you. It's not up to me to tell you what to do there. I don't know what your situation is. That's up to you to decide, you guys. I'm not here to tell you what kind of morals to have. He's married. I'm married. That looks bad. It's immoral. Morals are subjective. Marriage used to be many things to many people over the course of human history. Used to be in other cultures 1,000 years ago that there would be one man and he'd have 10 wives. And he could have 10 wives as long as he provided for all of them, right? He had to pay for room and board. He couldn't abuse them, whatever. I'm sure there's a culture somewhere where a woman could have 2 husbands, even, I don't know, throughout history. Marriage has been defined in so many different ways. And I think that's part of what the increase in consciousness on planet Earth is here to do. If you want to be married and monogamous and that's your rule, do it your way. So yeah, it's up to you guys, what you want to do. And Chris, here's your follow-up comment. Thank you, Kurt. You just confirmed that I am accepting breadcrumbs. Well, I don't know that I confirmed that, but you're welcome. And it sounds like whatever the situation is, with your twin flame, it's not what you want. So there you go. You got to make your own decisions about that. You guys, if you're okay with that, then do it. If you're not, then don't. Doesn't really matter. You might change your mind. It doesn't matter if you're with your twin flame, you guys. It really doesn't matter. But, who knows? Maybe someday, if you want things to be better, maybe they will be. If you stop making your person the goal and stop worrying about the outcome and stop rejecting the way things are today. Also, that's a big one. Start today. We talked about this a lot during the webinar that I just had, right? Where I said, you got to really let go of the outcome and just be okay with what is today. And the mind can't really help you with that part. It's the consciousness that can do that, the consciousness of soul. And you look at the situation and you say, well, that's what is. And it's supposed to be like this. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. That's truly what a spiritual master would say. It is as it is. They're married. I'm married. So it is. You could leave your spouse. You could stay with your spouse, whatever. But then whatever they do, you're not worried about it. You're just not worried about the outcome at all. You're not worried about it. That's how you would perhaps draw them closer to you, by the way, over time. If you want them to leave that relationship or situation or whatever it is, that's how you would do that. Just, I'm okay with what is. And it doesn't matter how long this takes. Maybe it'll never happen. It doesn't really matter because I'm focused on my spiritual awakening, which is building spaciousness into your life, stillness, right? Remembering that you're not your mind, right? The master's journey, not the new age journey. New age is not spiritual. Healing is not spiritual. Healing is good. Healing is great, but it's not spiritual. You got to do the master's journey, right? Real spirituality. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it a day. By the way, to this person, Sharon, thank you for your super chat. I've had a really great time with you guys here today. It was a good one. Great questions today, you guys. We covered a lot of important things. Really good one. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you would care to join me. And we'll get to the bottom of this. We'll get to the bottom of this, you guys. I want you to enjoy this awakening to consciousness. And remember, this is your spiritual awakening, nothing else. This is your path towards full-blown Buddha level enlightenment, a complete end to suffering. That does not mean that you don't have emotions. It just means you don't suffer through them anymore. Well, hello, my friend, Mansi Patel. I see you all the time commenting on my videos. Nice to see you. But yeah, you could still have emotions. You just don't suffer through them anymore because you don't believe yourself to be those emotions anymore. That's what this is all about, guys. That's enlightenment and self-mastery. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Adios.